We are exactly 44 days, 10 hours, 40 minutes, and 31 seconds away from Cosmoverse 4 here in Dubai, and we are still on the fence, and we are still thinking about coming. Obviously, I'm biased, but I think you should definitely come this year, specifically in a market environment that is so bearish, negative, max frustration, max fear, because that's when you truly see the real builders, the real people that are committed to the space and that are fundamentally convinced of the app chain thesis, Cosmos, interoperability, sovereignty, and all these kind of things. We have two novelties this year. Number one, the introduction of tracks, Cosmoverse tracks, which basically mean that if you're only interested in Bitcoin, for example, you'll get your custom agenda that's all about Bitcoin, L2s, BTC-Fi, and those kind of things. If you're interested only in RWAs and tokenization, there's a track for you led by Mantra, the Bitcoin track led by Babylon. There is going to be interchain tracks, DeFi tracks, the AAZ track, AI, AppChain, ZK, gaming and NFTs, EVM. No matter what you're interested in, there will be a track for you and you'll receive a custom agenda, which means you're meeting like-minded people, developers, investors, founders, teams, builders, whatever it is, that are as interested as you are in a specific vertical. We also have a pretty decent lineup so far. We've announced around 40 speakers, and you'll be able to navigate per track which speaker is in which track. We have a partnership also with Coinbureau. Greg is going to be there from Akash. The Babylon team, obviously. Sandeep is going to be there, founder of Polygon. Neutron team, Mantra team, and so on and so forth. I think it's a pretty decent lineup so far. Also Deutsche Telekom that have been there as well last year, some other enterprise and institutions, and also new teams, new faces like Native, for example, which is also a very interesting project. We talked about them when they were still called BitCosm. We talked about them here on the channel. Also the CEO of Cointelegraph is going to be there, Jana, and so on and so forth. So definitely make sure that you're coming to Cosmos this year. Participate also at the hackathon if you're a developer. And you can also apply for a dev pass, a developer's pass, which also means you get complimentary access for Cosmoverse. Two of the major speaker announcements we just did, Mustafa, founder of Celestia, and also Mert, who is the CEO at Helios Labs and one of the biggest proponents of Solana. So we're also actively inviting other ecosystems, and it's going to be very, very nice. Now, I want to start off with the Cosmos Crossroads Opportunity, an article written by my dear friend Bob, who works at DCF, the organization behind Interprotocol and Agoric. Interprotocol is also a media partner of ours here at Cryptocito, but this segment is not about Interprotocol or the product itself, but more so about the Cosmos philosophy. In response also to a Bankless blog post that was shared a few days or weeks ago, in which Bankless basically presented this as something to be concerned about. And Bob is basically fully breaking down the entire point of Cosmos, the entire point of sovereignty, interoperability, the internet of blockchains, which really is the vision that also got me hooked into this ecosystem in late 2020 when Jack Sempolin told me about interoperability, IBC, and all those kind of things. Now, 3.5 years later, we have all these chains and sovereign ecosystems and networks, but not necessarily a shared vision and cohesion behind the Cosmos brand as it stands, right? But I always want to remind you, and that's also the mission of this YouTube channel, is to show how vast, diverse, and strong the Cosmos ecosystem is, even though it doesn't really appear to be like that. But if you look at no matter which vertical, right, that's also why we have these tracks at Cosmoverse. Take Bitcoin, for example, as a category. The top most exciting chain to launch in the Bitcoin ecosystem is Babylon, and Babylon is a Cosmos chain. One of the strongest contenders in tokenization and RWAs is Mantra, which is a Cosmos chain. Celestia, modularity, DYDX for perps. No matter where you look, right, Fetch for AI, Akash for compute, no matter where you look, which niche, which ecosystem, same network, parallel EVM execution, there is a Cosmos chain to be found. Berachain, also a Cosmos chain underneath. Initia, movement, you name it. No matter where you look, you're going to find a Cosmos chain at the top of the food chain, top shelf, maybe even dominating that entire niche or vertical, but that's just how it is. At the same time, Bob is also breaking down the elephant in the room, governance and community challenges, a lack of accountability and a lack of also, leadership. Of course, the Interchain Foundation, the ICF, has been on the backseat for many of these decisions, which, to be honest, is bad short-term for decision-making and navigating adoption, growth, developer onboarding, events, conferences, right? On the other hand, it also allowed for people like me to basically step up a external community member to just host Cosmoverse, which now is the main ecosystem conference. This would never have been possible if the main foundation in the ecosystem would be dictating everything, right? Which is something you see on Solana, for example. Without the Solana Foundation, there is no Breakpoint, there is no super team, right? There's none of these initiatives because they're funding all of that and they're supporting all of that. Now, in Cosmos, you still have community members stepping up and this continues to happen because this is the whole philosophy about the interchain stack, right? Is to allow for sovereignty and allow for interoperability, right? On a technical level, but also on a philosophical one. He's also then pointing out how we need to rediscover the original vision and how this crossroads thing that we're currently witnessing is actually an opportunity and not something to be too concerned about. Obviously, there are things that need to be fixed, that need to be improved, maybe rethought, maybe a change of leadership. But in the bigger picture, I think Cosmos itself as an ecosystem is doing fine. There are, of course, concerns about the Atom price specifically. It went below $4 as of recent, and a lot of people are just still affiliating Cosmos as a brand, as a word, mostly with Atom as a coin. Well, the truth is that the Cosmos Hub and Atom is just one competitive layer 1 blockchains within the interchain, within the Cosmos ecosystem. There's zero dependencies on the Cosmos Hub from, say, Celestia, Fetch, Akash network. There are certainly synergies, but no dependencies. And I think the broader market still does not fully understand that architectural design of Cosmos. But yeah, this blog post really resonates a lot with me, and I fully agree to pretty much everything that's mentioned in this article. Now, where do we currently stand in the market? Obviously, we are at extreme fear, which is also indicated here in this fear and greed index, which means everyone is frustrated, everyone's losing money. People are exiting the industry, they're giving up, and they're just very, very frustrated, right? And I think you also see that sentiment on Twitter. People are just fighting more. They seem to not see a path out of this. There's no way out, right? There's no bottom to be found. Now we're going to go down another 50, 60, 70, 80%. We're all doomed, and it's going to take for a very long time for crypto to recover from this. The truth, however, is that in exactly those times, we will see the true believers, those that really are committed and convinced on the space. And it might sound like a meme, but that's literally what it is, right? You're making 100x in a bear market because that's where you place your bets. That's where you place your investments, which then in a bull market, everyone's making money. But those that are sticking around in a bear market and doubling down in a bear market are the ones that exponentially outperform those that are just coming for the quick money, and they're going to maybe do a 3, 4, 5x in a bull run because everyone's doing it. And they will then probably be underwater again if the subsequent bear market kicks in, and then they will sell at a loss and they will never be heard again from. And there are a million reasons to be ultra bearish on crypto, to basically explain and rationalize why this time is different. But at the same time, I feel like people are really underestimating how big crypto is going to be in the coming cycle, how high we actually go. The tide is exponentially higher. Sure, we have a lot more coins, an oversupply of block space, new tokens and new narratives launching every other day. But the fact that former President Trump and potentially new president is not only launching his own DeFi project, but also calls himself the crypto president and just said this about Bitcoin is actually very, very bullish.
And instead of attacking industries of the future, we will embrace them, including making America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin.
In addition, Trump also apparently is going to assign Elon Musk to lead Trump's Government Efficiency Commission, which Elon himself, I think, calls the Department of Government Efficiency Commission, short DOGE. And remember that Elon Musk himself is a pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin person, one of the biggest shills of Dogecoin. And I think in the upcoming cycle, the world's richest man is going to pump crypto alongside Donald Trump, alongside other influential people from TradFi. BlackRock is buying Bitcoin and Ethereum, large institutions, organizations, influential people, Elon Musk being one of them, but he's also running Twitter, and he's definitely going to integrate Doge at some point, at least that's my conviction. And he's not just going to test liquidity like he did in the last cycle, right? That was just a test net. Next cycle is going to be mainnet also for Elon Musk. Interesting. These are obviously, I guess, just rumors. I don't know if this actually is going to happen. It's also obviously very memeable, the fact that it's called Doge, but that's definitely something interesting and to keep an eye on. Then we also have not just US embracing crypto, but also Switzerland. The Zürcher Kantonalbank has launched Bitcoin and Ethereum Trader. This, my friends, is the 4th largest bank of Switzerland, and they also shared now on their website more details about cryptocurrencies, about their products, what are the requirements for trading crypto. They're also releasing here a fact sheet about Bitcoin and Ethereum, not just Bitcoin. And remember that basically embracing Ethereum means embracing proof of stake, which means altcoins. And this is how it works. In order to be eligible for that and to have access to this, you need to be a resident of Switzerland. You need to have a valid account with them and also a contract. And you also need to be aware of the risk, and you need to sign a thing that you understand the risks of cryptocurrencies and how they will be stored and custodied. Now, getting to the main topic of today, which is Celestia's roadmap that was just dropped. And Celestia is a very technical and a very B2B oriented infrastructure project. It's not a retail B2C play that is meant to be for end consumers, for end users that are not really in crypto. It's more of an infrastructure play that pioneered the concept of modularity and also data availability. And the mainnet went live around a year ago, which also means that token unlocks are about to happen in around a month's time. To be precise, October 31st is when we're going to see a major unlock of around a third of the TIA supply that will be unlocked. We'll also keep a close eye on that, and I'm going to share more updates on that as well. But Celestia so far has launched 20 rollups that are using Celestia for data availability. Eclipse being the most active one. Eclipse is deploying the Solana virtual machine as an Ethereum L2 using Celestia for DA. This is a very technical roadmap, and Nick White, who is the, I think, COO and also has been a frequent guest here on Cryptocito, he broke it down and commented on this roadmap saying, the difference between a dream and a goal is a plan. Celestia's roadmap turns the vision of 1 gigabyte blocks, 1 billion light nodes, and 1 million rollups from a dream into a tangible goal. A goal that the community will be working towards relentlessly for years to come. And I think it's very important to understand, especially also in context of these unlocks that are happening, that Celestia is a multi-year project that's been in the works. We covered it here first, I think in December 2021, very, very long time ago. And they're going to be here for many years to come. I'm also sure that the Celestia Foundation is facilitating OTC deals to maybe mitigate some of that sell pressure on the market once the unlocks kick in. But anyways, that's maybe something we will cover in a future video, also more about the TIA tokenomics themselves. Anyways, they also have a major upgrade called Lemongrass, which is coming very soon. And it also brings core interchain features to life, such as interchain accounts, which is also very interesting for LST providers, a new upgrade mechanism, and also one-click TIA interactions with other IBC chains. Now let's talk about what is currently perceived as the problem child in Cosmos. The Cosmos Hub and Atom losing rankings, losing ground below $4. It really looks really, really bad. We talked also about this major unbonding that happened, and some selling has been going on. I think the largest position has not sold off anything yet or moved to tokens. But on the product development side of things, we have Forge lined up, which is going to be a front end for users like you and I to basically get access to the Atom Economic Zone, all interchain secured networks. And you'll just have an overview of what's cooking, what's happening, how you also can earn yield through Hydro, which is the liquidity layer for the Cosmos Hub. And I think Hydro is actually going to launch first, Forge next, but all is going to happen within the next, I guess, 6 to 8 weeks. And this is definitely something where I see from a product development point of view that the Cosmos Hub has a clear pathway and is actually in a very, very strong position right now. Because imagine if the end goal for the Cosmos Hub is to become the interchain service provider, it basically could mean that the Cosmos Hub is the starting point for any interchain idea to launch very fast with very low resources, have immediate access to strong vetted validators that have skin in the game and experience, to also have immediate access to liquidity through Hydro, maybe even to funding from the ADAO, as well as technical support from informal systems and maybe core validators like Crypto Crew that is also working on consumer chain onboarding. So this could be a very compelling offer. Forge is going to be the front end app chain launch platform, a launch pad basically for app chains. And once these app chains, let's say after a year or two, have substantial traction, they can then spin off and have their own validator ecosystem, which I think makes a lot of sense in that way, right? And not vice versa. So far, it's been the other way around, and existing chains with their own validators are shutting down the chains and become atom secured, but it should actually be the other way around. Anyways, Forge, very interesting. I got a sneak peek also yesterday into Forge and Hydro, and definitely looks very cool. On the Cito Zone, we also shared a full walkthrough of Forge over a month ago, July 30th. Here, Sebmos shared a walkthrough, also screenshots, how that's going to look like, everything you need to know, and how you meet your validators, what you need to look at, and so on and so forth. Another thing that I really appreciate is more and more community members and OGs also stepping up and sharing their thesis around Atom, their views on the current state of the Cosmos Hub, such as Tony, for example, sharing his thoughts about what is Atom, also breaking down interchain security, liquidity as well with Hydro, Forge as well, and also just some of the thoughts around the Atom price itself. Like I said, I think on the product development side of things, there's a lot of shipping happening right now. But I think also when it comes to the brand and the perception of the Cosmos Hub, a lot of negativity, and that's just something that needs to be fixed and can be fixed with a shared vision. Imagine if Informal Systems, the ADAO, the Cosmos Hub team at ICF, if those core teams were all behind a shared vision, right? All the AZ chains, Neutron, Stride, all the ones that are coming up, evmos as well. I think there's an interesting pathway for the Cosmos Hub, because also Atom has this one strong point, which is the fact that it's leaderless, the fact that the coin has undergone so much scrutiny, so much FUD, a full redistribution, is still listed on every major exchange, has decent volumes, decent liquidity. That's something that a lot of these newer chains don't have, right? And while I love the Celestia, the Scene Networks, Saga, Dymension, Initia coming up, Movement coming up, Bearish coming up, I would love to see them first go through this full cycle of redistribution of their own token, and also, you know, their own team dynamics over 3-4 years in production with a coin, also throughout a bear market. And then I think it's fair to compare it with something like the Cosmos Hub. Anyways, another bullish integration is Rollchains. Rollchains now has integrated Spawn to also make it compatible with Cosmos Hub's interchain security, which means that it is going to be very easy to launch your app chain using Spawn and be immediately Atom secured. And what features that includes and also how that works is being broken down here in this article. Also, Spawn now supports IBC rate limiting, which is something we talked about here extensively. Next, we have one of the new stars on the Cosmos scene, which is Saga, the gaming hub of Cosmos, one of the fastest chains in crypto, also implements a form of shared security for their chain-led ecosystem. They're still in the early launch phase and are launching more and more features and opening up over time. They announced the liquidity integration layer recently with a goal to not only boost native liquidity, but also implement automatic bridge deployment, which means you're abstracting a lot of the bridge complexity away and also have very tight integration of Saga's chainlet ecosystem and also interoperability while maintaining a level of sovereignty and efficiency. All of this is gasless and super fast and effortless to transact back and forth. So Saga definitely also want to keep an eye on. Then we have one of the upcoming stars, Initia, that is about to launch mainnet as well. Also part of the interchain, fully IBC compatible, 10,000 TPS, implements a lot of the things out of the box. Fiat on and off ramp with Kato, native USDC with Noble, Celestia for data availability, also multi-VM support, WASM, EVM, and MoveVM, and a lot more. So Initia, definitely want to keep an eye on. And if you have leveled up your Jenny in their testnet quests, then you are likely to also receive an airdrop here. Next, we also have an update from Aleph Zero. We talked about how there was this on-chain proposal to implement a max supply, a max cap for the A0 token. Phase 1 has now passed, and that means, yes, there is going to be a max cap for the A0 token. And phase 2 is now going to be about deciding the model for approaching the cap, either for a linear or exponentially decreasing inflation. This is up to the community to decide on. And then in phase 3, they will decide on the exact parameters of that inflation change and max supply tokenomics adjustment. Lastly, we also have some big news from Injective. Injective is now powering the first ever tokenized index for BlackRock's BUIDL fund. What it all means and how it works is what Vinny from Cryptocito is going to explain you in that clip.
Injective has unveiled the first ever tokenized index for BlackRock's BUIDL fund. It's spelled B-U-I-D-L, but I'm just going to call it Build Fund because BUIDL is hard on my tongue. And anyways, this marks a significant leap in the integration of traditional finance with blockchain technology. Now, This index perpetual market is quite unique as it tracks the supply of the build fund itself, providing 24/7 exposure to tokenized assets such as United States Treasuries. The index allows users to take long or short positions based on fund supply movements, offering new leverage options through decentralized exchanges like Helix. Now, the Build Fund, BlackRock's first tokenized fund, allows investors to gain exposure to US Treasuries and similar assets while earning US dollar-denominated yields. What Injective's Build Index is doing is that it now offers retail users and institutions a gateway to these tokenized assets. Now, for background context, previously, institutional access to the Build Fund required a minimum investment of $5 million, also known as inaccessible. However, with the new index perpetual market from Injective, this lowers the barriers significantly, allowing anyone to participate with as little as a single dollar. Injective's collaboration with Stork, a decentralized price feed, played a critical role in the creation of the Build Index. Utilizing advanced WebSocket technology, Stork ensures ultra-fast and reliable data for the index comparable to traditional finance trading data. Now, as the Build Fund has grown to manage over $500 million in assets, Injective's Build Index market offers a new way to measure institutional interest in crypto. It allows users to track inflows and outflows from the fund with price changes reflected based on a 1-hour time-weighted average price or TWAP. What's also very interesting is that traders can use leverage on Injective's dexes, further enhancing their exposure to this product. Now, as I wrap this video up, I want to add a disclaimer that Injective's Build Index and BlackRock's Build Fund are two independent products, and so they are unaffiliated, and while the index tracks the supply of the Build tokens, it does not reflect the fund's market price. As always, individuals should conduct their own research before engaging in these markets. This content is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Have a good one for now. Bye.